Good morning. It's Monday, April the 13th, and this is The Drill. Thank you very much. I'm Ron, your host, and the only true conservative in the United States today. I don't take my cues from the left. I will not pretend to be neutral. I will not simply give you the facts and let you decide. I'm partisan, and I'm here to convince and persuade. I will tell you what to do, where to go, and how to hang your laundry. I've created this podcast to answer the question most asked by conservatives, namely, what can I do? My podcast is short, approximately 5 to 10 minutes long, because shorter podcasts are easier to download and listen to, and shorter podcasts force me to get to the point. I've been listening to conservative talk radio since 1989, and I've grown up in a socialist household, and I've seen up close and personal the destructive effects of socialism. My podcast is created through Spreaker and can be heard on iTunes, Spotify, Google, and YouTube. Today, what can I do? Quote of the week, subjectivity in court cases, and Roe v. Wade. All that when I come back. Thank you. What can I do? Don't be a snitch. A snitch is someone who sticks his nose where it doesn't belong. Summoning the aid of law enforcement legitimately is not snitching. The reason that I mention being a snitch is that the LA City Mayor, Mayor Garcetti, has actually had the guts to set up a rewards program for snitches. He calls it literally, snitches get rewards. The purpose of the program is to pay people to monitor other residents and report them if they don't obey the stay-at-home order. Pay attention. This is how our government sets up a police state. The city doesn't need to hire extra police officers. They just have to deputize the citizenry and motivate them to report on each other. But since we are all free people with a free will, we can decide to ignore the mayor and mind our own business. True conservatives should do just that. Next up, the quote of the day. Thank you. The quote of the day comes from the book Reclaiming Common Sense by Robert Curry. Quote, "This is why this is such an important book. Its purpose is to remind Americans that it is not only acceptable, but salutary, indeed necessary, to guide their lives by common sense, and to use their God-given ability to discern right and wrong, true and false. Common sense is still the surest resource we have for knowing how best to live our lives, and how to live in society with others. The opinions of 1,000 PhDs do not make it otherwise." Unquote. Next up, subjectivity in court cases. Thank you. Court cases are foolishly becoming matters not of law, but of mere opinion. Judges are succumbing to the temptation to rule on cases in a subjective way. If rulings become subjective, then they will cease to have the force of law and simply become arbitrary and invalid. For example, former President Clinton said in a deposition, quote, "It depends on what the meaning of the word is. Former President Clinton was disbarred in part on the basis of the statement. However, if he had phrased the statement subjectively and said, quote, "It depends on what you mean by the word is," he would have gotten away with it. The first statement is incredible because no one would believe that the President of the United States, a Rhodes Scholar and law school graduate, would not know what the meaning of the word is. The second statement, however, has the ring of credibility because it is believable that the President of the United States would not be able to read someone else's mind, Rhodes Scholar or not. Canny lawyers can use subjectivity to manipulate courts into giving them any ruling they want. Next up, Roe v. Wade. Thank you very much. Roe v. Wade is the landmark ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court that allegedly legalized abortion. In reality, Roe was a compromise in which a Supreme Court justice acted sua sponte and divided the issue down the middle. 20 weeks gestation was the dividing line. Less than 20 weeks and terminating the pregnancy is a medical procedure. More than 20 weeks and terminating the pregnancy is a potential crime. Recently, the state of New York has passed a law that makes legal late term, after 20 weeks, abortions. The law even allows the mother and the mother's doctor to kill the child after it is born. This is an obvious violation of the Roe v. Wade Supreme Court ruling. So why would the state of New York, particularly Democrats, violate the law of the land? Simple. It's a trap for unwary conservatives. The Democrats know that this new state law will drive conservatives crazy, and that the conservatives will look to strike down this law as soon as possible. The law is a trap because conservatives will have to sue in support of the Roe v. Wade decision, a decision that conservatives have hated since it was handed down. So the Democrats defy a law that they support in order to tempt the conservatives to support a law that they defy. Back in a minute. Who is the true conservative? He's the person that has the courage of his convictions and is confident in what he knows. He's the person that understands that cultural conservatism is more important than political conservatism. He's not selfish, but minds his own business. He acts like an adult. He's patriotic and uses common sense. He expresses what he knows and does so with certainty. He makes judgments, refuses to speculate, speaks clearly and definitively, and is not afraid to say no. He is open-minded and asking why rather than why not. He is consistent, credible, and influential, not ashamed of his existence, unafraid to learn or correct his mistakes. He is a normal American, and he is better than the socialist. He's a better friend, father, brother, family member, and a better person, period. You have to know that. If you don't know with every fiber of your being that being a true conservative is best, then you're wasting your time. And that brings me to the end of another episode of The Drill. Remember that the left has no authority, no power, and they can't win. Think about it.